maybe in about 3 to 5 years, iba na ang importante sa inyo. Iba na ang prioridad nyo. So dapat nire-review po yun. Mamaya isang factor din yun dito a little later on. But the establishment of goals is very important. Ito po ang medyo concern ko. Isipin nyo, lahat ng kumpanya may budgets, may goals. Kahit ano pong kumpanya, may target ng profitability at sales per year. Bakit ang pamilya po wala? Bakit ang pamilya walang target income at wala ring targeted expenses? So ano nangyayari? We leave it to chance. Yan po ang problema. So dapat may goals tayo and everything else emanates from those goals. And those goals also have to be aligned with both partners. Yan ba talaga ang importante sa ating dalawa? Ito ba talaga magpapaligaya sa atin? Hello mga ka-RFF, ito pong muli si Rex Mendoza. I hope you're all doing well, healthy, and on track to fulfill your financial dreams. The topic for today in this video is very interesting. I will be discussing factors that will enhance the financial success and investment effectiveness for couples. Yes, you heard it right. Tama po yan. For couples. Kasi for the most part, parang lagi yatang medyo individual yung dating namin in general. Pero ang totoo po, and I say this to my children, and I share it with all of you, especially po, syempre, yung wala pang napipiling maging kabiyak. The choice of a partner is one of the biggest factors in financial success and even happiness in marriage. Success in the family is often dictated by the dynamics, of course, of the mother and the father, the couple in the family. And syempre po, alam naman natin, isa sa palaging na pag-aawayan ay ang kaperahan. Yan po ay isang area of conflict, especially when couples are not doing well. Kaya po, dito sa video ito, magzi-zero in ako. Ano ba itong 8 factors? No? Ito po, galing lang naman sa akin. I guess, for most part, I don't want to dictate on people, but I hope you also get some angles of truth that will often be crucial in negotiating and navigating a life of love and partnership within a marriage. Now, I'm saying, in fact, baka nga po, hindi pa kasal, kahit boyfriend or girlfriend pa lang, dapat nase-set up na itong mga to. So let me get on with it and dive through all of these 8 factors. Number 1 for me, of course, is shared values. Siyempre po, kailangan ang pananaw ng dalawang tao, ang nananalaytay na mga belief systems and values in their heads and in their hearts should somehow be the same, or at the very least, just appreciated and understood. I will be very practical here. May mga bagay minsan na talagang hindi naman tayo mag-agree. Siyempre, iba't iba ang pagpapalaki sa atin, iba't iba ang kultura ng ating mga pamilya. So when we find ourselves going to find the prospects of living with another person, siyempre po, maiisip natin parang iba ang pinanggagalingan niya, iba ang kinalakihan niya. So, napakaganda, very ideal if values and belief systems are the same and completely aligned. Pero syempre, meron din mga situation na talagang kailangan magbigay tayo sa isa't isa. Sabi nga po sa Discovery Weekend, it's very important that you know your differences, because if you can live with them at pwede nating intindihin yan mga yan, it's fine. Pero pag may mga bagay na talaga pong conflict drivers ika nga at hindi natin maisa-sacrifice at talagang paninindigan natin, yan po normally ay pagmumulan ng clashes at conflict. It's very important po that beliefs and value systems are aligned, or at the very least, differences are identified, understood, and appreciated. And I can probably drill down on this by focusing on 2 main things. Number 1 would be life's priorities. Siyempre po, dapat nagkakaintindihan tayo ano ba ang mga importante sa atin. Uunahin ba natin ang mga bata? At pagkatapos ng mga bata, ano ang ating retirement? Ano po ang importante sa atin? At sa ating partner. Another area that's also very important is lifestyle. Siyempre, mahirap din naman po pag kunyari may isa sa atin kinagisnan ibang klaseng lifestyle tapos tayo ay magkokontrol ng konti, no? One is in another track altogether. Minsan po napagmumulan din ng awayan. So dapat napag-uusapan natin. And we all know, di pa po talagang lagi tayo nakafocus sa financial wellness. And when we say financial wellness, hindi lang dapat ngayon, dapat also in the future. Which means, dapat nag-agree tayo sa ating prioridad at lifestyle situation para clear na today, ito ang magiging enjoyable at maganda para sa atin. And in the future, ito naman ang hinaharap natin na gusto rin nating ma-achieve at marating sa ating mga pamumuhay. So dapat po clear. Again, very important focus number 1 is shared beliefs and values. Number 2, full agreement on financial structures and basics. And I will zero in on very clear examples of this one. The first would be structure. 'Di ba? Marami pong mga couples ang gusto nila, may pera ako, may account ako, may kita ako. Ikaw may pera ka, may account ka, may kita ka. Tapos mag-share tayo dun sa mga bagay, mga gastusin, maybe utility sa bahay, sa pag-aaral ng mga anak. Diyan, hati tayo pero you keep your money and I keep my money. That is basically just one of the probable arrangements. Pero may mga couples po, iba naman. Ang lalaki kumikita, binibigay lahat ng kita sa misis at ang misis ang nagbabudget ng lahat. Yan po, maaari nating sabihin, medyo old-fashioned pero nakagis na natin yan sa marami nating mga magulang. I actually saw my parents to be like that. My father earned more of the income pero ito po binibigay niya sa aking inay at ang inay ko ang nagbabudget ng lahat. In fact, ang aking tatay may allowance galing sa nanay ko. Kahit siya ang kumikita, may allowance siya. At ang kanilang accounts, halos lahat, and I'm going to say halos lahat, joint. At ang nagpapalakad niyan ay ang aking nanay. So, if you're going to see this, that's again another arrangement. Clear ba sa'yo? Alam nyo kasi sa panahon ngayong medyo individually focused tayo and independent, medyo mas gusto daw ng mga couples ngayon yung may kanya-kanyang account. Now, third, and I'm gonna say this probably will be a compromise, you can actually have a mix of 1 and 2. Pwede pa ding may sarili tayong account para sa ating mga luho, pero ang pinakamalaking basket natin will be a joint account or a joint set of investments that can be managed by either the man or the woman, or the husband or the wife, or kung ano man pong gender natin as we play those roles. You know, I'm just being conscious of some woke mindsets here. So, kahit sino po, pwedeng magdala ng tinatawag nating joint, pero meron pa ring separate. At sabi nga nila, para daw ho yun sa mga luho lang. The real financial basket for the couple is right in the middle, handled by either one of the partners. Ako po, i-share ko lang sa inyo, kami ni Ana, medyo konting kakaiba. Amin yung medyo compromised. Anong ibig sabihin nun? May account siya, may account ako, pero maliliit lang po yun. Normally, nalilimas pa yun pag kailangan nyo ng aming main basket sa gitna. Pero we still keep those for, our own individual quirks. Ika nga. Pero yung nasa gitna, may jointly managed po kasi ako aminado ko, si Ana, she's so good at fixed income instruments dahil mas conservative siya sa akin. So siya nag-handle ng aming fixed income side. And because we also know and we also accept na ako naman ay ang focus sa growth. So yung mga investments po na tinatawag nating a little riskier like stock markets, businesses, commodities, and the like, nandyan po sa akin yan. So basically, we optimize and maximize what is joint by focusing on our own expertise. Ano po ba ang sa inyo? You really have to decide that because as you swing from 1, 2, 3, or even 4, minsan po nagkakagulo kung hindi kayo in agreement in the first place. The other aspect that we all have to agree also when it comes to the basics is the way we view debt. It's the way we view debt. Kasi po, sa amin talagang debt is a no-no. However, there are times when we get into debt kasi po, clear na clear kami doon sa aming definition of good debt and bad debt. Ang good debt is when we borrow money using other institutional and people's money to earn more from it sa aming mga negosyo. We never borrow to buy something we want to enjoy that cannot afford. So, dyan po, agreed na agreed kami. Wala kaming papasuking utang dahil may gusto kaming bilhin na luho lamang. Pag kami po ay nag-isip ng utang, dapat pagkikitaan. How about you? Have you agreed with many of these things? Because it can spell a difference in terms of success and harmony within the family. The other is the establishment of an emergency fund. So dapat po agreed na agreed kayo. Ano ba yung emergency fund natin na hindi natin gagalawin talaga dahil yan ay pang-emergency? Is that a 6-month income base? Is that a 12-month income base? Kasi po minsan, pag lumalaki na yung emergency fund, minsan kukupi tayo ng konti for things that are not really needed. Dapat po talagang reserve na reserve yan. Kasi po, agree dapat tayo na yung emergency fund na yan will spell a difference in terms of our degree and comfort and confidence in our financial track. Factor number 3 is communication and transparency. Dapat po, we have to agree that we put everything on the table, especially when it comes to our income, our expenses, how are we going to earn, how are we going to spend, where will we invest, asset allocation, saan ba ang mas malaking bulk ng ating pera given a particular time in our relationship and age of our family. Is that going to be more of growth? Is that going to be more of safety? Dapat po dinidecide yan with a clearer level of transparency. Kasi po lalong-lalo na pag ang mga problema maliliit pa, madali pong pag-usapan. If it's all revealed immediately, nagagawan po ng paraan. Pero ako po, meron akong exposure sa mga couples na ganyan kasi marami na po tayong natulungan, marami pong lumapit sa atin at humingi ng advice. Nakakatuwa po, nabaon na sila sa credit card debt, hindi pa alam nung isang partner. Kasi yung isang partner ang may hawak ng credit card, rollover lang siya nung rollover at hindi niya pinakikita doon sa kanyang partner. Paano po yun? Pag masyado ng malaki, obviously, both of them will have to pay for it. Siyempre po, ang pagkakautang ng isa, pag kayo magkasama na, dapat po pagtutulungan niya yung pagbabayad na yan. So dapat, this transparency happens very early on. And you divulge it, you communicate, dapat po hindi tayo nagkakahiyaan. And when it comes to communication, let me tell you this, ang dami pong pamilya kasi, tabu ang usapan ng pera, which for me is quite problematic. Kasi po dapat habang maaga-aga pa at nakakaintindi na ang mga bata, dapat po yung usaping pera, clear na clear din yan. We talk about this on the dinner table, we talk about this when we have vacations, we talk about it in the open with our children. Para po sila, medyo clear din yung kanilang learning journey. Pag sa mga pamilya po na hindi na pag-uusapan ng pera, who's gonna teach each other? Yan ba po magiging influence ng kanilang mga kaibigan or ng eskwelahan? Wala naman pong nagtuturo ng personal finance sa eskwela So, minsan, nai-imbibe ng isang tao ang kanyang exposure. So, I will expect, sana po when it comes to communication and transparency, it goes beyond the couple. It has to be throughout the family. And I say this because, again, example lang po, napagdaanan din natin itong problemang to. I got exposed to many of these. Yung nanay at tatay nasa abroad, kumikita ng pera, yung mga anak nandito. Yung mga anak, as far as they're concerned, their parents are earning money, iba po ang paggasta, hindi tumutulong. Hindi nila alam that their own spending patterns, their own lifestyles, will have an impact in terms of the time that their parents can come home. Kaya po hindi makauwi dahil nababali ang likod magtrabaho sa abroad, no? Dapat po yung mga anak, partner sa ganyan. Diba? In fact, if They are very conscious of this. They can start businesses, they can earn to help so that early on pa lang makauwi na yung parents nila to be with them physically. So, importante po itong communication and transparency. Number 4, ito po, one of the most important factors. And I can say that this played a big role in my relationship with Anna and in our entire family. It's the setup of goals. It's dreaming and translating those dreams into real details with deadlines to make sure that we accomplish what we want to accomplish as a couple and as a family. Alam niyo po, nagseset kami ng goals on different aspects of our lives. Saan natin pag-aaralin yung mga bata? Kasi alam niyo po, kami ni Anna talagang very clear kami. Our job as parents will not be making decisions for our children. Pero, pag sila po ay nag-decide, as parents, we should be able to support it. So, pag ang isang anak, ito ang gustong karera, abay dapat po tustusan namin ang pag-aaral niyan. In fact, it came to a point na kung gustong mag-abroad, dapat kaya din namin silang ipadala at pag-aralin abroad. Kailangan po ganun eh. Parang yung lumalabas talagang empowerment is the capability. So it's not just simply money, it's the capability. So based on our priorities, ano ang pwede naming ibigay? So we set goals for that, including when magkakakotse ang mga anak namin, saan kami babiyahe, anong klaseng investment base meron kami, at saan nakalagay. Lahat po yan, goals eh. And we make sure that periodically we check up ourselves. Kasi alam nyo po, nagbabago ang ating pamumuhay. So maybe in about 3 to 5 years, iba na ang importante sa inyo. Iba na ang prioridad nyo. So dapat nire-review po yun. Mamaya isang factor din yun dito a little later on. But the establishment of goals is very important. Ito po ang medyo concern ko eh. Isipin nyo, lahat ng kumpanya may budgets, may goals. Kahit ano pong kumpanya, may target ng profitability at sales per year. Bakit ang pamilya po wala? Bakit ang pamilya walang target income at wala ring targeted expenses? So ano nangyayari? We leave it to chance. Yan po ang problema. So dapat may goals tayo and everything else emanates from those goals. And those goals also have to be aligned with both partners. Yan ba talaga ang importante sa ating dalawa? Ito ba talaga magpapaligaya sa atin? Now, when I even say goals, kami po, meron kaming intermediate goals at long-term goals. Kasi lagi ko itong inuulit. This whole process will have to be enjoyable. Pag medyo po talagang masyado tayong makutiltil lang, di ba? At hindi ito nakatugma sa mga bagay na gusto nating mangyari, the things that will give us happiness, hindi po ito magiging sustainable dahil it's not enjoyable. Pero pag sinabi po na, okay, in 2 years, dito tayo babiyahe. Next year, dito tayo babiyahe. Ito ang particular na hotel or hotels na pwede nating pag-stayan. O ikaw, Rex, makakabili ka ng ganitong relo. O kaya mo itong ganitong kotse pag meron ka pang lugar sa garahe. Yung mga ganyan po. O, si Ana naman, kailangan sa kanya, sabi ko nga, trips yan, di ba? So, kanya-kanya pong hilig. Pero paano natin matutustusan? Goals are great. They set direction. Pero sabi nga ni James Clear, gawa natin ang sistema para we can also measure the progress. Yan po yung susunod kong factor, which is the 5th item on this list. And it's budgeting and monitoring. Siyempre, when you have goals, you set up systems that will create the progress for you. Pero yung sistema pong yun, dapat yun nababudget na mo monitor. Alam niyo ba mga kumpanya, they have quarterly reviews, they have business reviews, hindi sila nag-iintay ng 1 taon. Na-measure nila dapat, lahat ba according to plan? Pag medyo may naiiwan, bakit ganun? Bakit yan below target? At paglampas naman, sa tingin nyo ba, babaliwalain nyo na? Hindi. Kahit lampas sa target, may tanong din yan. Paano nangyari ito? Hindi ba natin pwedeng ulitin? Di ba? Pero sa mga pamilya po, Hindi natin ginagawa yan. Bakit ganun? No? In fact, I'll tell you today, in all honesty, hindi na ako ganun ka-detailed. Pero in our early days of marriage, and I can say this at least for the first 10 or 15 years of my marriage, maniwala kayo't sa hindi, kami ni Ana, meron kaming balance sheet and income statement for our family. It's a personal balance sheet and income statement which we updated on a monthly basis. Ganun po. Baka sabihin nyo naman, masyado kaming nerdy. Hindi naman. Talagang sometimes we also get to generalize. Pero ang importante, every month we follow through on it. And I will tell you, napakaganda po ng aming discussions with the family at nagbunga din yan. And why do I say this? Kasi po yung mga anak namin, meron din silang sarili nilang personal balance sheet and income statement which is even far better than what we had. Kasi syempre, alam nyo naman po, mga computer geek sila. So, nagawan pa nila ng mas magandang sistema. Ako naman po noon, parang nagumpisa pa ako sa yellow pad na naging Excel din naman. Pero yung kanila, multiple worksheets, napakaganda, hindi ba? Pero, when we monitor things like this, alam niyo yung maganda? It becomes fun. Nakakatuwa eh. Once you're looking at something that's on track, once you're looking at the realizations of what you want, the priorities out of your life, napakasaya po eh. So it's enjoyable. And when it's enjoyable, you do more of it. It becomes a habit. It becomes a discipline. And it's not easily a sacrifice. It is something you want to do. Number 6 po is a constant decision to invest for the future. As I told you, si Ana po pang fixed income, ako po pang growth assets. So mostly stocks, mutual funds, and even some business ventures. So ano po yung agreement? Ano po yung alignment? Na dapat buwan-buwan meron kaming ini-invest. Kasi po hanggang ngayon, we're still net earners. We're still earning more than what we spend. Which means, meron po kaming naka-allocate na itatabi pa rin for our future. Now, kahit yung mga anak namin, sinasabi sa amin na, okay na yan, tama na yan, mom at dad. Alam nyo, okay na kayo eh. Pwede nang huminto sa ganyan. Alam nyo po, pag naging parte na ng sistema nyo, pag naging parte na ng pamumuhay nyo, parang automatic na eh. In fact, I think, you remember, there was a time when I said, as a couple, we set up what we call an emancipation fund. So, fixed income po yun. Yung fixed income na yon, nakatabi na yon, para kami ay, madulutan ng monthly stipend, whether we work or not, dadating at dadating yung pera na yon. So, it's money at work for us, whatever we do. Pero alam niyo, hindi naman huminto yun doon. Kahit na nandun yun, tuloy-tuloy pa din ang paglaki ng aming investment base dahil agreed kami every month we'll have to follow through. What does that do? It controls our lifestyle. Kasi po pag sinabi namin kunyari sa sarili namin na, okay na tayo dito, ito na yung naipon natin, tapos na tayo sa target, di magwawala na po kami. Di ba? Hindi naman sa sinasabi kong hindi namin enjoyin yung fruits of our labor, pero nakakalibrate mo pa rin kasi nag-iiba yung goals mo eh. Nag-iiba yung goals mo ngayon, di ba? Dati, simple lang eh. Pero ngayon, gumanda at natutuwa ka naman na gumanda at tumaas ang pwede mong marating, ang antas ng pamumuhay na maaring maabot mo kasi your sacrifices are bearing fruit. So, investing continuously is still a decision to make. And it's an agreement that my partner and I, Ana, have decided on and will do continuously until we cease to become net earners. It is when sabihin na nating deficit na. What we're earning, we're spending more than that. That hasn't happened as of now. Number 7, dapat periodic checkups. Periodic checkup, iba-iba pa rin yung budgeting and monitoring. Mostly day-to-day, month-to-month yan. Pero kung natatandaan nyo kanina, I alluded to this. I said, every 3 years or 5 years, baka nagbabago ka eh. Nagbabago ang pananaw mo, nagbabago ang prioridad mo, nagbabago rin ang mga gusto mo. So, you will have to also sit down with your partner to set forth maybe new goals, maybe to revisit what you have and aspire for better goals, for a higher level of wellness for the future. Kasi ito pong periodic setup na ito, para din pong strategic planning session ng mga kumpanya yan. Kung sila lahat day-to-day lang, siguro po most of these companies will be very happy with what we call marginal growth. But guess what? Di ba sila? They go for real growth to take advantage of great opportunities in markets to serve more customers. So dapat po on an individual basis, we also set these things up para naman maisip din natin, are we really optimizing? And that's the question that always gets back to me and Ana. Nag-o-optimize pa rin ba tayo? Kasi you are blessed. You are blessed with talent and you're given a lot of opportunities by the Lord. So dapat mag-share ka sa iba. Pero paano ka mag-share kung kulang ka na? So dapat i-optimize mo para makapagbigay ka. Kaya po lagi kong sinasabi, there is a difference between foolish settlement and wise contentment. Hindi naman po sa hindi tayo magiging happy o kontento. Pero kung tayo'y nabibigyan, abay dapat po magbigay tayo sa iba. But to be able to do that on a continuous basis, that means we also have to improve ourselves. And that's why these periodic checkups, these optimization opportunities will have to be taken on as a usual practice. Last but not least is serious financial planning. Especially po pag medyo nakaangat-angat na tayo sa buhay at medyo ika nga, lampas na tayo dun sa tinatawag na basics. Especially when we're of middle age or medyo advanced age. Dapat po meron na tayo talagang totoong, honest to goodness, detailed financial planning. And I would probably ask you to consult a financial advisor. Kasi po kami ni Ana, siyempre ayoko naman pong i-reveal ang age ko dito, pero dapat ready na kami sa ganyan eh. Wills, trusts, how to be able to distribute with a list of leakages. This is very important. Yung decision making pa lang po, kung ano ang mapupunta dun sa surviving spouse. Like let's say, something happens to me. What goes to Ana, what goes to our children? Or kung sabay kami, knock on wood ni Ana, if we go together, how will the children handle it? Yan po, minsan hindi natin iniisip because many of us feel we will always have the time later. I will tell you, there are a lot of people I know who never had the time later. Because sometimes people have the overconfidence that they're going to be here for much longer. And unfortunately, they're not. So, clearly, dapat po pinagdadaanan natin yan. In our last planning session ni Ana na one-on-one, isa po yan sa lumabas. It's not about distribution even. It's not even about wills and trusts. Alam niyo po, parang sinabi niya, Rex, ganong kataas talaga yung medical coverage natin? It opened my eyes to a lot of things because we have a lot of friends now who got wiped out because of illnesses. How much are our children going to be spending on us when we do get sick? Is there a limit to that? How much will be coming from the coffers of the family and how much will be insured? How much will be benefits coming from a coverage? Sometimes po, you're taking aback. Hindi mo naisip eh. It takes all of this planning to do that. But on top of just being a couple and discussing priorities, values, beliefs, and plans and strategies, paminsan-minsan po dapat magpasok na tayo ng financial advisor. Somebody who's number one, unemotionally attached, and number two, technically adept para po makatulong sa atin in our quest for this financial journey that is optimized, that is focused on ourselves and on our loved ones, and thinking through not just our life as partners, but our family across generations. Ito po uli si Rex Mendoza ng Rampart Financials. Kung wala po kayong financial advisor, kontakin niyo po kami. We have people who can help you. Alam niyo po, we want to be part of your lives. We want to be part of your journey. And we are indeed offering ourselves and our services to you and all your loved ones. Maraming salamat po and blessings always.